Josh from Whiskers and Wrenches. I apologize for the late video. You guys can tell it's late, but over there we've got my truck with something cool on the trailer. You guys will see that later in the video and probably in the thumbnail because I'm not really good at keeping secrets. But I had planned to do a really cool intro for this video. I had planned to pick up a 1966 Chrysler Rambler, but unfortunately, it went kind of south. You guys will see in the video. I planned to do a little intro, you know, showing I was going to talk to the guys. They were cool with being recorded, everything like that. So I was going to have them, you know, talk a little bit, do an intro off that, show you guys me driving the whole way over there, all that stuff. I had a whole video planned out in my head. I had it all written down, everything like that. Then immediately got a wrench thrown in the plan, and I ended up not getting that car. But I ended up getting something else pretty cool. But I started this day off by looking to trade my 2006 Scion XP for a 1966 Chrysler Rambler that was about an hour and a half drive away from me. So we're gonna get into it now. I will show you guys me picking up in the car in the morning, ready to drive that thing the whole way over there and start the trade. Hope you guys like it. Peace out. Well, we're in the car. I got all the cameras set up and everything to record. We're gonna get on our way here in just a second. I got some breakfast over there. I'm gonna grab a few bites out before we leave. But let's get into it. Up here is a really old junkyard we're gonna hit on the way back. I had an old Ford Turbo Coupe I pulled out of this place a long time ago. It's coming to life. Oh yeah, you ready? Right there. It's called All Allstate Auto Salvage. The guys there are really, really cool. We're going to hit that up on the way back. You guys saw the intro there. In this video, we're going to be trading this Scion for a really, really cool old project car. Now, what you saw there was a 1966 Chrysler Rambler. It has been in a garage for about 47 years. The guy I'm buying it from bought it straight out of that garage, made sure it turned over, was going to get it running, kind of got it to cough a little bit, and then he realized, you know what, I'm not really going to get around to this thing. I'd rather just have a little daily driver that I can just get in, do little things through that needs it, just use it as a daily car. I'm never going to get around to this Rambler. So I messaged him saying, hey, I've got this thing. Would you be interested in trading? It's got a clean and clear title. It does need a battery, but it does run and drive great. I've driven this thing 3-4 hours one way to pick up parts. Drove it back, no issues. I love this thing to death, but I don't really use it much anymore because I work in town. I used to use this thing when I was working outside of town because it got such good gas mileage, but ever since I started working in town, I'm like less than a mile away from my work. I hardly ever use this thing. I just keep using the pickup whenever I need it. Me talking, let's get into the little montage of us driving the whole way up here, and then we'll get into talking to the owner and everything he knows about it. See you guys in a minute. Not too shabby. It really does need floorboards bad, but the frame and everything looks great. Well, nothing really goes to plan. We loaded that car up. I looked again at the title, figured out that it didn't have a clean title, and they straight up lied to me. Now, that does suck, but on the way home, that junkyard that I told you guys about had this beautiful thing. Now, this is a 1966, 1967 Chevy Malibu Chevelle. This thing is extremely, extremely clean. It doesn't look like it. This thing's been off the road, up on blocks in a backyard for about 37 years. Now, this thing does look a little bit rough, but this rust really ain't that bad. The frame is in great shape. There's no big holes anywhere. Leaf hangers are good. And actually, this thing does have, if you guys look up under there, it's got aftermarket springs on it. So this thing at one point was a cool little car. But we're gonna get home here before it gets too dark. I do not have lights on this trailer, so I need to get the hell home before it gets dark because it's about 4 o'clock and the sun's already going down. We need to get out of here and on the road. Looking back, I realize now that I did not really do a good job of explaining kind of what was happening. I did put a camera on my back window to record us loading this old school 1964 Chevy Impala onto the truck, but it immediately died. I will play the 13 seconds of glorious footage I have here. But this thing was on the chopping block to get crushed this Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday. He was going to crush it someday early in the week. He said, hey, I've got a coworker whose wife needs a little get-around car. I've got this old school 64 Impala. I bought it, and I would hate to crush it, but I did just buy it for scrap. But it does have a clean and clear title signed from the previous owner. All the glass is intact. In the pictures you guys saw, I had the driver's side window rolled down, but I just did that to steer the wheel. All the glass on it has no cracks. Like I said, the frame is mint. There is surface rust, but there are no holes. It's got a straight 6 in it that has 50,000 original miles on it. I was told the owner that I am, going to title it from them into my name. Bought it in 84, 85 sometime. Drove it for a little bit, and in 90 or 91, it started to smoke real bad. They put it up on blocks behind the barn, and it got completely forgotten about until about 6 months ago when the junkyard owner picked it up, was going to do something with it, but didn't have the time. Nobody really wanted to buy it. People were looking at it, but never really ever anybody seriously, and nobody wanted it. He's like, I'm just going to crush it. I don't have room. I'd love to save it, but I don't have room. Go out there and look at it. See if it's something you want. So went out there, looked at it, made sure the VINs match on the title. It matched. Crawled up under there. The frame, I cannot tell you guys enough. This frame is immaculate on this car. I mean, literally, I'm just going to roll over it with stop rust. That'll just stop the surface rust and undercoat. That's going to be it. It's not going to need to get frame off restoration where I have to put patch panels in the frame. The A-arms are great. Even the quarter panels, the wheel wells on them do have a little bit of rust around the lip that I showed, but I can actually smooth that out. I don't even really need new quarter panels. I will probably get some just to do it right, or at least wheel lips. But honestly, I could save that with Bondo super easily. This thing is really clean. And like I said, it does only have 50,000 original miles. I'm going to catch back up here with me talking a little bit about it. There is another car in the yard that I'm going to talk about here that I'm going to be using for parts that I'm going to buy in about a month or two. I need to get a little bit of money saved up because it's a little bit more valuable of a car than I picked up. Or it's not really quote-unquote more valuable, but it is worth a little bit of money that I didn't have on me right now, and I didn't want to make 2 trips. Again, my trailer lights didn't work. It was getting late. I was just done. I had pulled the Scion up into that trailer, left in the morning, pulled the Scion off the trailer, pulled that Rambler on the trailer, realized that the title was junk, pulled the Rambler back off the trailer, put the Scion back on the trailer, pulled the Scion back off the trailer at the junkyard, pulled the Impala up on the trailer. It was just a whole ordeal. I was done. I was ready to be home. But I will tell you guys what that other car is that I'm going to be picking up for parts in a second here. Let me talk a little bit to you guys here. But he said, hey, I'm going to scrap the, I'm just buying it, just to switch out the scrap. Instead of scrapping that car, I'll be scrapping this car. But be honest with me here, is it a good car? And I said, look, honestly, it needs a battery, but I literally just put brakes on the thing. I've been driving it for 2 or 3 years. It was a great little car. And he said, all right, I'm probably going to save it then because I've got a coworker whose daughter really needs a car. Her main car blew up. It's junk. It's completely done. She keeps throwing money into it. It's junk. I said that would be a great car for her. It gets like 35 miles in the gallon. You throw a battery on it, maybe do a little things here and there. Like, it's got an exhaust leak. It's got O2 sensors that are bad on it. But I said the thing always start up, ran and drove for me really reliably. It cruises great at 65, 70 miles, 65, 70 on the interstate. I love that thing to death. I haven't been using it, and I wanted a project that I'm actually going to do things with, and this was it. So we're going to head back now. I might stop really quickly to get food, but like I said, I'm going to try to cannonball back basically as quickly as I can because I do not have lights and I don't want to get pulled over. It would not be a good end to my day right now. Oh my goodness, my truck is throwing off mud. This thing was literally up on an incline covered in snow. We had to get a skid loader to get it out. The skid loader was slipping trying to pick this thing up. All the brakes are locked up on it, but the frame is really great. It's got a clean and clear title that's completely signed off, ready for me to put into my name. It does have a motor and a transmission in it, and also in that junkyard, I'll throw up a couple pictures here. He has a 1978 or 1970 Camaro IROC. That's a factory 350 4-speed car. It has disc brakes in the front, which I'm going to put on this thing. That thing was a great car until the owner that had it, it was a graduation gift given to him by his parents, and he kept getting DUIs, he kept getting street racing tickets, everything like that. And they said, look, you're not going to do this. You either stop it or we're going to get rid of the car. And he didn't stop, so they literally took it out back, used a skid loader, and crushed the damn thing just to prove to a point that, hey, dude, you need to quit doing this. You're going to kill yourself or somebody else. And the guy wouldn't let it get through his head, so the car got crushed, and it's been sitting ever since. But he did say for about $650, he'd sell it to me. It would have the 4-speed, the 350, the rear end I need for this thing. It's all going to be great for this thing. I'm going to wait a couple months, pick it up. And he said, that's fine. I'm not really in a rush to get rid of it. I've had it for like 10 years now. People keep making offers on it, but they never come and pick it up. So I know you. I've dealt with him in the past. I bought a couple old cars from him, like I said earlier. Me and him immediately hit it off when we first met a couple years ago when I bought the old white turbo coupe that I'll throw a couple pictures up here again. Me and him hit it off because whenever I saw it sitting there, he said it had been sitting for about 15 years. And I said, well, I brought a fuel pump. And do you have tires? Because I'm going to try to drive this thing home. And he said, you know what, kid? I like you. That's the type of stuff I did as a kid. So me and him hit it off. We've been pretty good friends. Just went back up in there, talked to him. I figured he'd have something cool to trade for me for that little Scion, and he sure as hell did. So we're going to get home now. Like I said, I might stop for food. If I do, you guys are going to see what I get. If not, we're going to cannonball home, and then we'll pick it up in the morning, and we'll just get down to it. We're getting gas. It's so cold. Look at that pretty girl. This thing's gonna look great with a 350 and a 4-speed in it. I might just clear coat over this patina because this is actual patina. This isn't like shop made patina. This is real patina. I got that from sitting in a field. Oh, sweet, it's done. Made it home. I am underneath the street light at my dad's place, and here she is. You guys can't really see anything, but I do want to put this video out because I did say I would, even though it went a lot different than what I expected. But this is a 1966 or 1967 Chevelle Malibu. Now, I originally thought, I'm not really a big Chevy guy, so I'm sure I'm wrong a few things here, but it does have the Chevelle badges up here. You guys probably can't see too well, but it does have Chevelle badges right there. And I thought it was Chevelle, Impala, and Malibu were just trim levels, but it says Chevelle up there and Malibu on that back quarter panel. So I don't know. You guys are gonna have to tell me in the comments. You Chevy guys, tell me what the hell I'm looking at. What do I look for? Apparently it's got a 230, little 230 straight six that's in there. It's got the badges on it. It's not locked up. I did go in there and I can spin it over by hand. So it's not locked up. The owner, move over so you guys can see me a little bit. The guy said that, it was smoking really bad in the 90s and like 91 whenever he parked it. He put it up on blocks in the backyard and just never got around to it. It just sat and sat and sat. So I am super happy. All the glass is intact. I mean, I've got the driver's side window rolled down, but I mean, none of this glass is cracked up. The front window's clean. The back window's clean. This glass is all there. The doors are really nice. There is a little bit of rot right here, but that's nothing bad. I mean, I can probably fix that up with Bondo, honestly, or just get new quarter panels. These things are really, really easy to get. Another thing too, it did have a tree fall on it, but this is old school sheet metal. I can probably put a jack up under here and jack this thing up and make it pretty darn good. But yeah, that's a new project on the channel. This thing's been sitting for about 34, 35 years, if my math is correct. I'm completely worn out. I pulled that Scion off the trailer today, loaded up that other car, realized the title was junk, pulled that one off, loaded the Scion back up, drove down here, pulled the Scion back off of it, loaded this thing up, and then drove the whole way. So I'm kind of worn out, so my brain probably is messing up on math a little bit. But this is the new project car for this channel. I hope you guys like this. Like and subscribe for this journey because I'm going to be fixing this thing up. Like I said, he does have that late 70s Camaro that's in the junkyard with a 350, a 12-bolt rear end, a 4-speed, and all the parts I need to make this thing a really, really cool street monster. So I will be getting that thing. I am going to plan... I do plan on fixing this thing up a little bit before I get that car and getting it ready to, you know, rip all that out and make this thing a good riding and driver. It does need tires really, really bad. These are probably the original tires from the 80s or the 90s. It needs brakes. These brakes are locked up really bad, and it has a single pot master cylinder, which is super, super ancient, and I don't really trust it. It's got drum brakes all around, so I'm probably going to get all that stuff sorted out, probably undercoat it and just give it a good wash, clear coat it, because I do like this patina. Then it'll be ready for that cool engine swap and just have the whole drivetrain all fixed up. But you guys are going to see it all on this channel. This is Josh from Whiskers and Wrenches. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out. Among Us. Dreams are made of these. Give him a tune up. Look at that.